Hello, my lovelies. Hey. I am so glad to see you guys on my blog today, or my vlog today, telling you guys about my trip to Paris and also informing you guys about some things that I think you should really know if you're planning on going to Paris. And I think that Paris is amazing, so beautiful. I understand why it's called the city of love, and I had to share with you guys. So you're going to learn about 4 different categories of things that you need to know. I'm talking about how you get around, how you travel, what you should wear, what the culture's like, and the food. And then also drop in some hints of what I experienced along the way. So let's go. So first thing I'm going to talk about is the culture. If you're going to Paris, the way that I got there, by the way, is I took a Eurostar from London to Paris. It was like $100 and it was so efficient. It took 2 hours and it was just the cleanest, like the best. It was the best experience. So if you are looking to do that, that's a good way to do it. And the culture, if you're going to go to France, and specifically if you're going to go to Paris, I totally made a bad mistake. I did not really learn how to speak French going, and I'm gonna say that was a mistake on my part. You should really learn how to speak at least the normal, like, hi, bye, can you please, how much is this? Like the typical phrases in French, because it is a French-speaking country, and it would be like somebody from China coming to America and they're speaking to me in Chinese, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. And then being conceited about, well, in my country, I speak Chinese. Why don't you understand? Like, it's kind of like the same thing. So if you're going to go to Paris, I really encourage you to download Duolingo and just, try to learn a little bit of French, because it's going to go a really long way for you. And then it would make things a lot easier. And also another thing, this happened to us. I went with a large group of people. This is a big thing. Pickpocketing and thievery is a really big thing in France. It's a really big thing. And when you research it, it's like their highest crime is like pickpocketing. Like, nobody gets shot or killed, but there's a bunch of thieves over there, okay? And what happened to us, actually at the train station, somebody tried to pickpocket one of my friend's cell phone, and she caught him in the act and was like, give me back my phone. But, and the French culture, you want to know what makes this best? This person's like pickpocketing us, and she catches him. You know what he says? He's like, oh, good attention. What? Like, what the heck? So just learn from us that pickpocketing is a really big thing. So if you have a purse, have a zip closed purse, have something that's on you, you never know what's going to happen. Be always alert and aware, because it's not just a statistic, it's real, it happens, and it happened to us. And so another thing is that some of the people in France, some of the French people that we came across were the nicest people ever. They were so sweet. They were completely understanding that we're American and really trying to help. And then there's other French people that are snobby, and they want nothing to do with Americans. Like, they really are that way. Like, they just completely couldn't be bothered. And maybe they were having a bad day. Maybe that's the culture. I have no idea. But a little bit of entitled, because I guess they have the whole that we're the French, we're the best attitude going on. But some of the people were so nice, and some of the other people were incredibly snobby. And some of them just laughed at us because we're like a bunch of really loud Americans. So that's that. And then also another thing about what I loved about the culture in Paris is that there are street performers everywhere. Everywhere you go, there is like a real, like, Irish man in a kilt, and he's playing his, I don't remember what it's called, but that thing, like, he was playing that, and it sounds so lovely. And there's people playing the guitar, people like the electric guitar, there's people playing the electric violin, which I fell in love with. I tipped her so much money. And then next to that, they also have in public places, like the local government supply, like they actually put these public pianos in a lot of these like congested public areas, and people just go and they just play the piano, and it's so beautiful because they're so good at it, and it's just amazing. And that's one thing that I loved about Paris, just all of the rich culture and music that was there. It just really makes you feel like the history is still current, and it just is amazing. It still feels like Renaissance-y. It's wonderful. And then also, there's so much beauty in Paris. Like some of the most, obviously the most gorgeous architectural accomplishments in the world are there. There's like Notre Dame, you know, they stole the obelisk, that's there. The opera house, the opera house has like marble pillars in the front of it. It is breathtaking, and all you see is like elegantly architected wrought iron balconies everywhere. Like, it is just stunning. And they sell flowers on like every street corner. It's like, you know how in New York City everybody is trying to get you to buy like a scarf or a knockoff handbag? They sell flowers in Paris, and it's just so amazing. And I just find that to be so beautiful. So there's so much beauty. And so that's a good gif of the culture there. That's what you're walking into. You're literally walking into La La Land. But be careful, because there's pickpocketing. And so that's that. Next thing I'm going to go to is the travel aspects of Paris. There's also Uber in Paris. There's Uber in Paris. Yay! Like I said, I practically live off Uber in the United States. So to find out that there was Uber in France and in Paris was just like, oh, wonderful. And also, I didn't want to do this when I went to Paris. I wanted to walk everything and just experience everything from the ground. But taking a tour bus in Paris is actually a really good idea. It's actually a great idea because you really get to see it all, and you get to sit down the whole time, which is wonderful. Taxis are a pretty fair price, which is a really great thing. So if you take a taxi, you really don't have to worry. You're not really gonna get scammed. It's actually pretty fair. It's not too bad. And another thing I will tell you though, a lot of places in Paris, you have to pay to go to the bathroom. You have to pay like 10 pence or francs or 20 francs to go to the bathroom. There's so many places, even like restaurants, where you have to pay to go to the bathroom there. So that's something that was interesting. That's travel. That's that info. Next thing is attire, what you need to wear. Your attire. France, as you probably already know, it's like the fashion capital of the world. It's super fashion forward, super duper. Women have great skin, women have great hair, women have great outfits and shoes and jewelry and bling. Like, French women are just on top of it. They wear heels everywhere and they don't care. Like, it's just actually pretty amazing. And no one wears sweats. I didn't see one pair of sweatpants in France. But they also, there's that kind of person, and then there's also the super very stylish, very free, crazy shaggy hair, but they still look clean. They're still clean, but they're shaggy and they're free-spirited, and you can tell they're autistic, and they're like the right brains of the world. It's pretty great. So that is yes, and then there's food. So attire is really interesting how everybody dresses, like, again, with not so much the leather, but very much the scarf. The scarf is like in the handbag. The scarf in the handbag is like a staple for every French woman. And so now into the food. Oh my God. French food and French wine and French everything, as far as like cuisine goes, they get a feather in their hat on that one. They win on that aspect. And so something that's important to know as an American, if you want coffee with milk when you're going to France, you need to say, I would like café au lait, which means coffee and milk in French, because they do coffee with milk on a whole nother level. They actually warm up your milk and then give it with you to pour it into your coffee. Like, they warm it up, they like literally like in a pot, like warm it up. and it makes the coffee taste so much better. But they do that, so ask for cafe au lait. Otherwise, if you're like expecting milk, they're going to like be a little snotty, like you didn't ask, like, because they do it the right way. Also, when you go to France, you need to try traditional French crepes, traditional French macarons. Macaron is how you do the two light pastries with the ganache in the center. A macaroon is the coconut, like the coconut treat. A macaron is how you pronounce it for like the bougie snack. So delicious. Larderie is like the French macaron, the bakery, and there's one on the Champs-Elysees, and it is so worth it. A little pricey, but it's so worth it. And another thing is you need to try the wine. When you eat in France, every place you go, you need to order the wine. Their wine is so good, you can even order their house wine, and it's still going to be like full of flavor, full-bodied, and not have tannins, and be so delicious. And also in food, if you're looking for a place to really just absorb culture, I would recommend going to the Latin Quarter in France, because the Latin Quarter, I don't know how to describe it, except it's just all these markets. It's like a maze, and there's like millions of stores and restaurants that are authentic from all these different places. Kebabs is like a really big thing, and that's there, and crepes are there, and gelato is there, and all these restaurants. Like if you're a foodie and you just want to eat and drink all day, you need to go to the Latin Quarter, because it's great. Great selection of restaurants. And so that's it. That's my video updo on my experience in France. France was just so beautiful. I loved it so much. I would not want to live in France, but I would want to have many extended vacations there, because it's just so beautiful, and you will be mesmerized by all of the statues and the architecture that you see there. It is just amazing. And so I love you so much. If there's anything you wanted to ask me that I didn't touch on and you're curious about, feel free to comment below. I want you to subscribe, because I'm traveling and experiencing life and love it, and I love sharing it with all of you. So subscribe so you'll be able to see many more of my videos in the future about my travels and just inspiring tips. And I love you so much, and I just want you to live inspired and love yourself. And I love you so much. So